The truth is, UK would have been the best place for you to move to, but it's not that easy anymore.
If you want people, allow people to come. If you don't want people, close your borders. Full stop. But now for wash toilets before you pay back. Taxes are not everywhere. The taxes you guys pay, they are not everywhere.
So I'm going to be very sincere here. It's very difficult right now moving to the UK.
This topic, this matter, this year, you get a CB. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Talk to Me Nice podcast. And I have an angel that has been here before, gracing your screen all the way from the UK. Introduce yourself.
Dynamite. Guys, how you all doing? Welcome to today's video. My name is Tochi. I'm Tochi Esther. I live in the UK with my family. I have a YouTube channel called Tochi Esther where I discuss everything about moving to the UK, life in the UK, everything interesting. You will want to check me out, okay? Yes, thank you. And I'm happy to be here.
Today we have a hot one. I know last year Tochi was here. She gave me the opportunity to ask her a lot about the UK, and within that time frame from that last year until now, something has changed. I would say there is something in the air in the UK. So I would ask you, Tochi, is it still worth it to move to the UK in 2024?
Oh, is it still worth moving to the UK? Yes, it's worth it. Of course, it's worth moving abroad compared to where we're coming from. But is it easy? No. Right? So I'm going to be very sincere here. It's very difficult right now moving to the UK because it seems like they are blocking all roads or all easy routes that most people use to migrate to the UK. Yeah, but there are still routes that are open anyway, but the ones that are easier, they're now closing up.
You guys heard from Tochi Esther. Some people may agree, some people may disagree. If you agree, let me know in the comment section below. Are you living in the UK? Let me know as well. See, before you guys moved, before your batch moved, what people used to talk about or complain about those days were taxes, bills, how they are paying a lot in this, how they are paying a lot in that. Now the complaint has totally changed. The change now is there are no jobs. There are no jobs. The same UK, I heard that there are jobs. So how is the job market now in the UK for everybody, students or workers? What is happening?
Well, honestly, everything has changed. Things are not as easy as it used to be. But I'm a positive person, right? If you've been following me, you will know that I'm very positive, and I wouldn't tell anybody not to move abroad or go where they want to go, because I feel like if there are 10 people saying that no jobs, there are still going to be at least 5 people getting those jobs. So yes, it's not as easy as it used to be, but there are still jobs. For students, it's understandable because people find it difficult employing students because of the restriction of the number of hours they have to work a week. They're allowed to work for only 20 hours a week. So most employers prefer, full-time staff, people that will work full-time and do more hours, and not people that will just come and go, or just work for 20 hours, right? So most students find it very difficult getting jobs because for that particular reason. But for some others, it's easy. There are people who move to the UK and they get jobs in less than 2 months, in less than a month. I know people, not even one person, especially dependents of those on skilled worker visas. They move to the UK and they are getting jobs. For some, it's not easy. So we'll not just generalize and say, oh, there are no jobs anymore. No, some people are still getting these jobs. In as much as it's hard for some people, it's also easy for some other people. So it just depends on how you play your cards, how well you ask questions, how you research your field, what your CV is all about, what you're going to offer or what you have to offer to your potential employer. Everything just depends, right? Somebody that is a professional might get a job immediately because of his CV, his skills, his experience. Another person that doesn't have that kind of experience might struggle to get jobs. So it just depends, right? It basically depends.
So with some of the things that you've highlighted in this video, what professions do you think are doing well? Which ones are not really? Which ones would you advise or more this year just avoid? Which ones would you say, okay, these are the ones that I know, come rain, come sun, people are getting something out of it?
Yeah. um IT, right? People in IT field get jobs easily compared to those in other fields. And then healthcare sector, those in the healthcare sector, doctors, nurses, radiographers, basically those in healthcare, they get jobs basically because the NHS is big, is one of the biggest sponsors in the UK. So for those looking for sponsorship, if you look at the NHS, if you're in the healthcare, you might not struggle as much as somebody who is not in the healthcare. If you're in the IT, you might get a job easier than somebody else. So if you can take any of the IT courses or in any of the fields in this IT, or you are in healthcare, depending on your field. I also said those in financial industry, accountants, construction workers now are in high demand, and there. So I made a video or a reel recently on Instagram on some big construction companies in the UK that offer sponsorship as well, and there were a lot of people that were commenting and actually agreeing to the fact that some of these companies offer sponsorship if you're good and if you have what they want, right? So this also brings me to the last point I mentioned, that it basically just depends on you, your CV, what you're offering. If you have something to offer to these companies, they will employ you. It wouldn't take time. But if you don't have, I'm sorry, you might struggle. That's why you should upskill. Just keep taking courses, upskilling. HR, people are getting jobs in HR right now. I know a lot of people have taken courses in HR and they got jobs. They didn't even waste time. They've gotten jobs. So just always, you can even check Google anytime. Just type top 20 professionals in the UK, top well-paying professionals in the UK. All these things are online. You would have an idea of what's in the job market, and that would also help you as well.
The main thing with this whole immigration whatsoever, the impact, the changes, a lot of Nigerians are changing their minds. I've even seen TikTok videos of people leaving the UK for Canada, leaving for Australia, leaving for the US in droves, not just Nigerians, other nationalities, even the locals. So the question now I have for you is, what are the impact of immigration changes on the different visas, and which visas would you advise anybody thinking of moving to the UK in 2024 to look into?
The impact is a lot, because right now a lot of people are affected. They don't know the next thing to do. Imagine that you have moved abroad, probably sold some of your properties, told all your friends and family that you're going abroad, and all of a sudden you just brought up a rule that affects you negatively, and you're looking at yourself, and it's like, after this my visa expires, it's looking like I'm going back. There's no hope, right? So a lot of people are in that situation. So especially those on study visa right now, it's crazy. They stopped students from bringing dependents to the UK, and they also stopped students from switching to another visa, to a work visa, basically until they complete their study. So you can't switch until you have completed your study. And now they also stopped healthcare assistants or senior carers from moving with dependents. So this has affected students a lot, because most students use this route to switch visas, to switch to a work visa and remain in the UK. But now that is not guaranteed anymore. So for students who have moved to the UK with their families at this point, they don't know what next to do. The skilled worker visa salary threshold have been increased to 38k, which is difficult. How many people make up to 38k a month in the UK? So it's even harder now for people to get skilled worker visa, because you have to get a job with a company that is willing to pay you that amount of money, and not all companies are willing to pay that amount of money. And so it's harder now for students. So that is why before you come study in the UK, you have to think very well, especially if you want to remain after your studies. If you want to come and study and go back after your studies, that's fine. But if you want to come and study and stay back, then you have to think very well about the cost you're coming to study. It has to be a course that is in demand, a course that you will not struggle to get a job after your study, because it's harder now. It's harder settling for a lot of students right now, and they're just in a fix. It feels like they are stuck. They don't know what to do or the next thing to do. Will they have to pack their bags and their families and move back to their own countries? People are now looking at other countries, even those here, like you said, there are people, not only students, there are people who are here now that are beginning to look at other countries, because it's according for them, it feels like what will be the next thing? What rule will they bring up tomorrow? Will that favor me? Because it seems like UK changes their laws every Eke market day, That's not true though, but yeah, that's on a lighter note. But they change their laws every time. Of course, rules are dynamic, it changes from time to time. But some people are just saying, let's try here, let's try here. In as much as you're going to be trying, remember that it's not always greener on the other side. If the UK is working for you, please don't move. If those people in those other countries come and tell you what they are facing, you will be grateful for where you are. But if you don't have a choice, right, and the only option you have is to leave, maybe you got an opportunity somewhere else, but that's fine. But for people who are already here that are moving, well, everybody knows what works for them and what they want from life and in life, so that's fine. So yeah, if you are coming to the UK, skilled worker visa is still your best bet, right? Getting a job, a health and care worker visa is still your best bet. Dependents are still allowed for health and care worker visas, skilled worker visas. It was just carers and senior carers that were banned from bringing dependents, but every other person, teachers, you can also look at the teaching field because it's in demand right now. Teachers are wanted in the UK at this point, and dependents are allowed. So you can also look at other fields or other areas that can allow you move to the UK and stay with dependents. They are still very much open.
Cool. Thank you for sharing and enlightening us on the situation on ground. So you're Nigerian, you know the situation in Nigeria. You live in the UK, you know the situation in the UK. Would you say that it's better to remain in Nigeria right now than to relocate for someone making serious plans to leave?
Is it
comparing both economies?
Is it better to remain in Nigeria
yes,
or
in Nigeria? With what you're seeing, you know what is happening in Nigeria, you know what is happening in the UK. So if someone is planning to leave to the UK with everything that you know, do you think it's best to remain in Nigeria if UK is the only option that the person has?
Why? Well, for me, moving to the UK is one of the best things that have happened to me in life. So if I have a friend or a sibling right now that is in Nigeria and you want to relocate to the UK, I would support you with everything to leave and relocate. Because with what's going on in Nigeria now, honestly, I don't even know how people are coping there. But if it's working for you, that's fine. There are people who are doing so well in Nigeria. They have good jobs. They're doing well. They're okay. They don't want to relocate. That's fine. But if you are young, you want better opportunities, you want better things from life, you want a system that works. Even if you're not young, if you really want to relocate to the UK and you have an opportunity to, why not? Why not? Just pack your bags and move. You will look back and then you look back.
You see, I don't know why this sounds sarcastic to me. I don't know. But pack your bags and come to the UK.
I made a post one time about,
I know you mean it, but it sounds so sarcastic to me.
I made a post about relocation. What I talked about moving to the UK is one of the best things that happened to me. And people were saying, your own is one of the best things. My own is the best thing. I was saying, your own is one of me, is the best thing that has happened to me. And I don't regret it for me. So, if you want to move, you're still asking, which one? You're not serious.
I had this discussion with you last year when you asked what's the next plan, and I told you that my husband is considering the UK, and with everything happening now, we don't even know. I don't even know at this point. It's not one of my choices. It's not one of my choices, so we're still in a serious dilemma.
UK is good. Everything is
for
fine.
me. You living there, you're not seeing it. Me outside, I'm seeing the bigger picture. Me from outside, you entered when time times were good. You entered when things were actually good. Like coming 2024, I don't know.
No, but
But
inflation is
for us
everywhere.
now, as a family of five,
It's everywhere. Shane,
no,
inflation, cost of living
it's
crisis
everywhere.
is
But taxes
everywhere.
are not everywhere. The taxes you guys pay, they are not everywhere.
We are still
They're not
surviving.
everywhere. That's people.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
People.
something.
People.
Short story. Let me tell you a short story, right? I had my baby 1 year ago in the UK. People were even advising me. I got like 2 or 3 people advising me to go to the US and have that baby so he can get automatic citizen. I didn't consider it because honestly, I'm in the UK and I've had one child in the UK and I loved everything about having a child in the UK. I didn't consider the US. But imagine I had just thought about it for a second and I said, okay, let's just go to the US and have this baby. Right, but I didn't go. Right, I had this baby, and somehow things didn't really go so well. We ended up spending so much time at the hospital. We were even transferred, to a children's hospital in Liverpool. Everything, and everything happened. Okay, and we did not spend a dime. Right, plus the way they treated that baby. Do you know that if that baby stayed in the hospital for the number of days he spent there, and maybe I was admitted in the hospital or we couldn't go, that baby would still be fine. Everything he needed would be provided, from diaper to clothes. They didn't even need me for anything. Basically, it was just I just had to express breast milk and give it to them. But if I didn't want to, or if I couldn't, the baby would still be fine. The milk, everything the baby had was provided for by the hospital. Even a place where we stayed, they gave us an accommodation. We didn't pay anything. We just paid £30 and refundable deposits. Okay, and it was for charity. If you wanted, you leave. If you don't want, you take it back. So my point is, if I had gone to the US and that thing happened, do you know the no? Probably
Mm. Una for
I'll
wash toilets before you
yes,
pay back.
I'll call you and say, please organize go for me.
Ah, just
Maybe.
normal consultation. I've heard people will be charged $200, $500 for just 1 hour.
Yeah.
Talk more of days plus.
And on the other hand,
No, no, no.
if that same thing happened, if I was in Nigeria and that same thing happened, I don't know what would have been the story today,
Hey.
right? But being here, I'm really grateful because the system works. And when I hear people say tax, I don't know, but maybe because you haven't been in a situation where you would actually appreciate the tax that you pay, because I appreciated it at this point, when this thing happened to me. And I've heard people also say, see, after this thing happened, no matter what tax they ask me to pay, I will pay with all my full chest. At the end of the day, even with all the taxes and everything, you're still okay. You can feed your children, go to school for free. You are comfortable. You can still save, if you're making a reasonable amount of money from you're working, your spouse is working, you guys will be fine. Your children will not starve. They would wear good clothes. You will not be hungry. You can still make enough, save money, get your mortgage, send money to your family back at home. Man, what else? We got our mortgage in the UK in less than 2 years of staying here, right? So what else? Probably if I was in Nigeria, I wouldn't have achieved all I've achieved right now.
Exactly. I think if I was in Nigeria, UK would have also been the appeal for me. But because of where I've come, UK looks like what the hell is going on? Because of where I am, everything you've mentioned happens here. Free healthcare, if you want to deliver, everything they give you, everything is free. Everyone is complaining everywhere. That's right. But I don't know. The appeal I used to have for the UK before has died. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It just grew to be. I don't know. Maybe I would say it's because I'm here. Coming here has made me see the UK differently. When I was still in Nigeria, UK was like, it used to enter my eye. Coming here, I'm seeing all the tiny faults in most Western economies. Not that they are not good. They are good. They are perfect. But then, shege is still happening. 1 or 2 is still happening.
Well, wait, let's face it now. People complain about taxes. You pay taxes. But you're still benefiting from these taxes. You enjoy if
but it's not normal. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not normal to pay the taxes you people pay for the basic things you people get. It's not normal. It's not normal. Seriously, it's not normal to be paying council tax. It's not normal to be paying the taxes you guys are paying. It's not normal. It's not.
That what is
It's
that
not
people get?
normal. Your money should be your money.
Wait, let me ask
Even
you.
their citizens are paying for
If you don't pay
education.
for, if you don't pay the taxes, how would that free education be funded? How? From where? And then secondly, those people in Canada or Australia, wherever
Britain
it is
is
that
one of the major. Britain is one of the major economies.
what do they benefit that those in the UK do not? What
You
is it
mean
that you're going
where
to
in
get?
Australia?
I don't know where you're admiring right now. What is it you're going to get there that you won't get
I'm
in
not
the
admiring
UK?
anywhere in the West. I'm admiring the Middle East. Everything we want is here. The only issue I would say is obviously the limitations in villages. If we're living in a major city, like the Middle East, is even some Asian countries are doing better than the West. The appeal for the West, I feel like, yes, being in Nigeria, being Nigerian, coming from Nigeria, maybe one of these days, just people should just do placement. You don't need to entirely move. Come to the Middle East, spend 1 year with your family. I bet you won't move back. You won't move back. When you see the money people are getting in the UK, and you're still paying, sending money back home, doing all these things. Imagine if you were not taxed at all. How much you could achieve. Imagine if your money, they pay you maybe £3,000, nothing. No, the only bills they are taking from you, maybe the ones you spend, your internet, your water, which they are not costing you an arm. You'll be balling, Tochi. You'll be a billionaire.
UK has its own.
Don't mind me. I'm not a UK hater. I'm not a UK hater. I don't have any personal vendetta against the UK. It's just the amount of Nigerians that go, and then the expectations, and then ranting on TikTok and all these immigration rules and changes. If you want people, allow people to come. If you don't want people, close your borders. Full stop. Not today. You say this one is happening. Tomorrow you say this one is happening. Imagine if we came now. We came here, it's almost going to 2 years, and every time I'm panicking, I'm having anxiety that tomorrow Saudi government may wake up and say, okay, dependents, you have to do this, or like living in anxiety until you're settled, until you have something, until you have the passport, your mind no go cool. If you want people in the country, allow people, make it immigration friendly. Don't be changing rules like I don't know, Sha. That's what's killing the West for me, especially these two countries, UK and Canada. The immigration rules are frustrating people, taking people's money, leaving people stranded. The anxiety it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like you mentioned, if you want to go with something that is sure, which is like a skilled worker visa or any visa that 5 years, you're not thinking, your hand is not on your chest, having sleepless nights for something like, I don't know, Sha. I don't know. That's the appeal for UK just went down with all this immigration thing. But
Yeah,
hopefully things change after the election. Hopefully it does. So if us 5 now we're moving in 2024, how much, say the way we're living here now, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm not doing anything, how much do you think? She don't laugh. You see, this is laughable. It's okay. Like I say, I get cleaning job. I have a cleaning job because that's the at-home mom. Life no go work.
Okay.
It not go work. Cost of living for five of us.
Let's get serious now. Firstly, moving to the UK.
Okay.
If you get a health and care worker visa, right, you wouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg, like you said, let me use your word, because IHS healthcare workers are exempt from paying IHS fees, right? So all you have to basically do is just pay for your visa application for yourself and your family, and you move to the UK. But if you're not under the healthcare sector, you're not a doctor, you're not a nurse, radiographer, if you're not in the healthcare basically, and you have to move on as a skilled worker, maybe as a teacher, construction worker, accountant, whatever, that's where you spend more money, because IHS fees has been increased as well. It was part of the changes that they introduced. It increased significantly, increased by 66%. So one person is paying over £1,000. Okay, so imagine that you're paying for each person in your family.
Sorry, that one is excluding the visa fee that you have to renew every now and then.
This is called immigration health surcharge. That's fees you pay to access healthcare in the UK, right? So those, if you're going to move now with your husband, your family will not pay for it because he's a medical doctor. But if you're not in the medical field, that's where you will now have to pay that amount of money for yourself and for your family. And we're looking at around 15K, 15, 12K, 14K, depends on the number of your family. So it's quite a lot of money. The IHS fees is a lot of money. That's a lot of people's care right now. It's so much. It's too much. The increase was just a lot. Just on IHS fees alone.
So you know how people
you should save at least £15,000, 12 to £15,000 on just IHS fees. That's excluding your visa application, your flight fee, and every other thing.
Wow. Okay. So, like we are now as a family of 5, you know how people budget? Oh, I'm saving 30 million naira, 40 million naira, 45 million naira to move to the UK in 2024, with the cost or just the average cost of living in the UK. How much do you think someone can say, okay, as we are now in Saudi, we want to move before the month end, next month or in 2-3 months time? How much should we have in our bank account ready for the expenses and to settle in properly? Just give us an estimate.
For a month, like cost of living for a month for a family of 5?
Not a month, like to move in, to enter and settle within, let's say we move in May. By June, July, we're settled. How much do you think we should prepare for? All the unforeseen housing issues, all the everything. Just imagine yourself, family of 5, moving to the UK with the current UK's climate. How much do you think someone should budget for moving right now?
Excluding the IHS fees and all that, right? The visa application fee.
Yeah, use our family, yes.
Excluding that, right? Just what you
use our family as an example.
Okay, so is it including your flight fee and your visa application fee and all that, or just excluding that?
Yes, everything, with everything happening, flight, visa, everything.
Okay, so if your family wants to move to the UK right now, you should be looking at somewhere between, if you have £5,000, you should be good. It should be good.
For a family of 5.
For a family of 5. Excluding, you're not paying IHS fees. If you have 5K, you should be fine. Okay, let's break it down now. Your visa application fee is not that, it's not, so much because people are in health and care workers. For the 5 of you, then you would come to the UK, you get a house. Let's say you want to get a 3-bedroom house. Depending on where you live though, if you're staying away from London, if you're in the north is cheaper. So if you're getting a 3-bed house, let's say you get it for £850 a month, or let's even say you get £1,000. Let's say if it happens, but you shouldn't get a 3-bed house for £1,000 here. It's 800, 850, 900. Let's just say 900 to 1,000. So let's say your visa application fee is 2,000. Your house rent for the month is 1,000. That's 3,000. Your feeding, with £5,000, you should be good, or even less. You should be fine. Yeah.
So the last question I have for you before I let you go is, with the current climate globally, inflation is everywhere, east, west, north, and south. With everything you know now about where you are, with everything you know now about Nigeria and many countries, the internet is there to inform us about everything happening everywhere in the world. Where would you move to if you were in Nigeria now? Good money to move you and your family. Where would you relocate to in 2024?
Oh, maybe the US or the UK. So I would go. I don't like Australia.
Why?
Australia is far. I don't like Australia. Australia is far. Canada is cold, and I don't like cold. Either it would still be UK or the US. And the US would be maybe Texas, because I heard it's not so cold compared to other places. And because I love US houses. US have big houses, swimming pool, big spaces. I just love their houses. I admire US houses a lot, and they are not even as expensive as UK houses, right? So, I would say either the UK or the US.
Cool. So anybody watching outside from the UK and is having plans or personal doubts, or what advice do you have? General advice for people who are still thinking, with everything happening in the world, it is the UK or nothing, UK or nowhere. What advice do you have for them?
Let me use the Waka Waka doctor's term. If your placenta is not buried in the UK, there are other countries that you can try that are easier to go right now. The truth is, UK would have been the best place for you to move to, but it's not that easy anymore. It seems like they are blocking every way that people can move. There are still opportunities, but it's not as easy, and it's not for everybody right now. It's only for professionals and singles, it's more for professionals and single people. So if you don't have that opportunity to move to the UK right now, don't worry about it. There are countries you can try. Ireland is opening up. I heard Finland, European countries, basically, you can try that out. There are easy ways, study route, vocational studies, even for professional skilled worker route for those countries. You can try them out. They're easier and they are cheaper right now. And they allow family as well for some of the routes. You can try that. And yeah, there are so many opportunities in the world right now. So don't give up. You can even start there. When you go there and you still want to move to the UK, by the time you're ready, you'd have made enough money, and then UK would have opened another opportunity for you, or open up their border for you to move. So you can still move from wherever you are to the UK, right? So you'll be fine. Just start from somewhere.
Thank you so much for gracing me. See, guys, if you're not watching what is happening in the world, or if you're not following politics and you stumble upon Tochi Esther's YouTube channel, you'll be sold. I'm telling you. You will want to pack your bags and be moving to the UK. So if you're following her YouTube channel, Tochi Esther, I'm telling you guys, you will be sold. You will be sold. In fact, at this point, they're supposed to give her solid passport, ambassadorship passport, because UK, like she mentioned, is the best thing that happened to her and her family. Thank you so much, Tochi, for gracing me. It's been a pleasure. Any last words before I wrap up?
Thank you for having me, and thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. God grant all your heart desires. God continue to help us and keep us. Yeah. Thank you.
Ami, do support her by going to her YouTube channel, Tochi Esther. Let her know you're coming from the Dynamite family, and hopefully you give this video a massive thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, bye.